Good morning, Malta and Gozo, and welcome to another episode of Lovin Daily. My name is John Sapati, and today I'm joined by my co-host, Paula Kauki. Paula, how are you?
Bonjour, tajba, grazzi.
I am doing very well, yes. There's a lot to talk about today, so let's jump straight into our 5 headlines. Starting off with revelations reveal that Joseph Muscat, Keith SCHEMBRI, and YORGEN FENECH shared a private WhatsApp group. Malta police are excluding a targeted hit in the SLIEMA double murder. Relatives of the 12th COVID-19 victim warn of inaccuracies of events. Club lobbyist assesses state of PACEVILLE 2 weeks after restriction hit. And Malta has run out of cannabis once again. Paula, take it away.
Mela l-biraħ komplet d-dejja komplazzjoni fil-kas ta' Yorgen FENECH fejn xret l-ispettur Kert Zara illi qal illi konferma illi fil-fatt jeżisti u kien jeżisti WhatsApp group bej Joseph Muscat, Keith SCHEMBRI u nnifsu u qal illi fil-interrogazzjoni preliminari Yorgen FENECH kien fil-fatt iddeskriva relazzjoni ta' daw it-tliet min-nies illi kienu qishom aħwa. Mill-qorti l-bira ħareġ ukoll l-ewwel darba li issemma kien hemm konferma illi l-pulizija ġabret evidenza illi Yorgen FENECH jista' jkun illi prova jixtri velenu minn barra minn Malta l-ewwel darba li din nisimgħu dwar il-velenu u llum ikompli jistema' l-każ l-iktar ħaġa li forsi kulħadd qed jantiċipa hija jekk huwiex ħajingħata Yorgen FENECH il-libertà proviżorja jew le. Ovvjament, diskussjoni ta' dibattitu hemm il-lider familjari tiegħu lesti li jagħtu garanzija personali mhux ħajqarrab mill-pajjiż, min qed jgħid li ser ikun hemm dimostrazzjonijiet sħaħ jekk jitħalla bil-libertà proviżorja. X'taħseb dwar inti?
I mean, yes, it seems a bit hard now to be fleeing the country, especially with all these COVID travel restrictions. But I mean, he's tried to do it before, so obviously there's that. People are obviously a bit concerned about granting Yorgen FENECH bail, and I wouldn't be surprised if there were demonstrations out. I mean, obviously it's a high-profile case, and he's a high-profile person, so him going out on bail, I wouldn't be surprised if there were demonstrations out in front of his house. I mean, they were
kienu qed ikunu barra l-qorti bħala simbolu, issa ta' fejn għandek tmur biex issibu jew biex iddejqu jew biex isimak.
Over the past year, I think Malta's gotten used to demonstrating and protesting and stuff like that, so I don't think people will shy away from doing that at all. Moving on to our next story, Malta police are excluding a target hit in a SLIEMA double murder. So another twist in the tale of Chris Pandolfino and Ivor Majikowski. Can't struggle to say his name, but police have confirmed that in fact they are dismissing a targeted hit as a possible motive. Now, it was widely considered that this was a targeted case, the murder of Chris and Ivor. However, police are now coming out and excluding entirely that it was a target hit, and in fact saying it's more on the likes of a robbery.
Ara xi plot twist di ġifieri aħna kulħadd ħasibhom li daw xi killers professjonisti bekk kulħadd ħaseb li kienet targeted hit illi daw f'4 minuti kienu trejnjati jidħlu jagħmlu ħerba u jisparixxu, però fil-verità ma sparixxew xejn u jista' jkun illi huma amateurs u għalhekk illi ma rnexxilhomx jisirqu wisq hija fit-timings tagħhom kienu ħażin, riċerka tagħhom kienet ħażina, ma ironika li filli kollha ħsibnihom li professjonisti u mill-lider u eżatt l-oppost dan il-Mukas ser tibdilu l-kompilazzjoni tiegħu nhar il-ħamis fil-11 nofs ta' filgħodu, Dragomanski ser tibda l-kompilazzjoni tiegħu l-4 tal-ġimgħa d-dieħla fil-waqt illi dak li nqabad fi Spanja Christian Weissen, ma nafx kif ngħid kun jew anqas. Ser tibda tinstema l-każ ta' tradizzjoni fi Spanja mbagħad jekk ikun ta' suċċess jintbagħat Malta fejn jibda l-kompilazzjoni tiegħu wkoll 3 minn 4 inqabdu huwa sinjal il-pulizija jaħdmu let's give credit imma hu sinjal ukoll li mhix professjonisti daqskemm ħsibnihom.
But I'm still not ruling out anything in this case yet. Still have to wait and see every day, every week.
Forsi l-kompilazzjoni ta' tidaq xi iktar dawl tal-motiv li kellhom jew x'kien għaddejjem immoħħhom daw l-4 min nies. Ngħaddu għal COVID il-ħadd li għadda kellna 12 mewt ta' COVID, raġel ta' 86 sena, jidher minn stqarrija li ħarġet minn Ministeru tas-Saħħa dalgħodu kien hemm kjarifika dwar id-dati, jidher dan ir-raġel fil-fatt kien iddaħħal l-isptar fid-9 ta' Awwissu fejn irriżulta li kien negattiv għal COVID għaliex kull min jiddaħħal l-isptar isirlu swab. Fi-23 ta' Awwissu il-pazjent qeleb għall-ar sarlu swab u hemmhekk irriżulta pożittiv, ittieħed fl-Infectious Diseases Unit fej kompla jmur għallar u sfortunatament il ħajtu fil-31 ta' Awwissu. Bħala parti mill-proċedura saru swab test li l-kull min kien fis-sala miegħu u li l-kull staff, membru tal-istaff illi kellu kuntatt miegħu u dawn kollha ħarġu negattivi għalhekk ixxejjen dak illi kienet jingħati li dan il-bniedem miskin ħal COVID minn xi ħadd mill-isptar jidher li dak ma kienx il-każ mill-swabs illi ttieħdu. Ovvjament kondoljanzi lill-familja tiegħu żmien diffiċli. Immens, però.
On the flip side, though, Malta's active cases have now dropped below 500. Yesterday were 87 new recoveries of COVID-19, while 21 new cases were confirmed. So we seem to be facing a downward trend. Hopefully it stays that way. Moving on to our next story, club lobbyists assesses state of Parchville 2 weeks after restrictions hit. Now, obviously, Parchville a couple of weeks ago was a hot debate. A lot of clusters of COVID cases were coming out of Parchville, following which the new restrictions were placed. And now, 2 weeks later, we're seeing not a totally different, but a more tame Parchville. Philip FENECH, the deputy head of the Chamber of SMEs, spoke to Lovin Malta, where he gave a bit of a rundown on the landscape of Parchville as it is, where it's not essentially the really quiet place we'd assume it to be with the COVID restrictions. There are still people attending Parchville, going to certain venues and whatnot, but it's not the bustling hub we saw a couple of weeks ago when we had a number of outbreaks over there. So, a lot of clubs, some clubs tried to refurbish so that they have a bit of a lounge area so they can accommodate people. It didn't work out, so they're temporarily closed. Some decided, in fact, it wasn't worth it at all and have closed temporarily since new restrictions were in place. And some have managed to make way and convert their clubs into kind of lounge areas where people can enjoy and whatnot. So Parchville isn't the quiet and dead place we'd expect it to be, but neither is it full of people, and neither are we hearing of major outbreaks there as well. So it's interesting to see that Malta's party hotspot is still a thing, but also at the same time it's when you look at the photos of the place, it's kind of surreal to see it not as busy as we would expect it for summertime.
Fimni, jekk l-owners tal-klabs jibqgħu segwu l-istruzzjonijiet relatati mill-awtoritajiet tas-saħħa mela jistgħu jibqgħu miftuħin u naraw li ma jkunx hemm spread ta' COVID minħabba nuqqas ta' restrizzjonijiet. Ovvjament jekk wieħed ikun għaddej minn PACEVILLE u jara ħerba m'hemm xejn iżommu milli jirrapporta dak il-ħin il-pulizija, lill-MTA, l-awtoritajiet tas-saħħa biex jinżel isir inspection biex jekk ikun hemm xi abbużi għax dejjem ħassib li xi ħadd li jipprova jabbuża mis-sistema jitwaqqaf ukoll. Iktar ma nkunu responsabbli nżommu dal-famuż bilanċ li kulħadd isemmi nistgħu ngawdu mingħajr ma nimirdu.
It's all about balance.
L-aħħar storja jidher li jista' jkun effett tal-COVID mod dinji ma nafux għadna fil-konkret jidher li f'pajjiżna hawn nuqqas qawwi ta' cannabis kemm dik mediċinali u kemm dik tal-black market da ħareġ wara li l-organizzazzjoni Relief qalet li l-pazjenti li qegħdin b'mod legali jużaw mill-medical marijuana raw prodotti li jużaw mill-ispiżeriji jiġu out of stock u fil-fatt ma tantx għandek fejn iddur għax mill-lider huma biss 4 prodotti li huma legali f'pajjiżna u ovvjament di raġat skattat diversi diskussjonijiet. L-ewwel diskussjoni qajjimha l-MP Alex Saliba fejn qal isma' għaliex għandna liġijiet tagħna li tippermetti 4 kumpaniji biss, għaliex m'għandniex nillaxkaw daqsxejn il-liġijiet biex jiżdiedu l-kumpaniji u bekk jekk kumpanija ġiet out of stock għal xhur sħaħ il-klient xorta isib minn fejn jieħu. Ovvjament x'inhu ma jagħmlu l-klijenti bħalissa qegħdin jqelbu għal black market fejn mill-lider hemm ukoll nuqqas ta' cannabis. Lovin Malta l-bira kellem il-Segretarju Parlamentari Deo De Battista li huwa responsabbli mill-Medicines Authority li hija responsabbli mill-medical marijuana fejn għal hemm xi tip ta' żejt li għadu fis-suq, però jidher li l-pazjenti u t-tobba ma jikdbuhx għaliex
It's 6%, I believe.
Ma għamilx effett, ġifir qasħaq taħli flusek. Però Dio De Battista kellu kliem ta' kundanna għal pazjenti illi mill-ispiżeriji imorru għal black market fej ma nemminx li huwa 100% korrett illi kundanna għaliex dak li jkun ovvjament qed jieħu l-medical marijuana raġunijiet personali tiegħu mhux lokt li l-politiku jiġġudikah. U nfakru wkoll li suppost konna din nistennew riforma li kienet ħabbret is-Segretarju Parlamentari Rosien Kutajar waqt COVID calls fil-bidu ta' COVID fejn kellha tiżdied l-ammont ta' cannabis li hija dikriminalizzata, ġifieri wieħed ċorta jħel multa però ma jtellax il-qorti biex naqqas kemm il-darba wieħed imur għand id-dealer, eċetera, alla volja jidher li hawn naqqas ukoll minn dak.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's being taken too seriously. Obviously, like reiterate the fact that obviously people are using or relying on cannabis as for medical reasons, for medical prescriptions and what. So there is serious, without any cannabis in stock, it has serious medical ramifications for these patients. It means not just for the 40,000 local users who use it for recreational purposes as well. So obviously it's something that needs to be taken a bit more seriously, and it seems to be being brushed aside, but at least there are NGOs like Relief and whatnot who are bringing this issue to the fore. With that being said, that brings us to the end of our episode. Thank you for joining us today, and have a day full of love. Bye-bye.